Welcome to the Truman Charities Podcast. I am Jamie Truman, your host. Most of you know Shawn Yancey. She's a local celebrity in the DMV. Shawn has been broadcasting for over 20 years. Now, the holidays are coming up in a couple weeks, and I know a lot of you have reached out and asked how you can help local women and children. Shawn's a 100% volunteer-based organization. The Giving Foundation for Women and Children has created a winter wonderland that will take place on December 14th. She'll be providing new toys, books, coats, and hats, but they still need your support. Shawn talks about how you can get involved in the winter wonderland by donating and or volunteering. We also discuss why she is so passionate about helping local families and about her scholarship programs she has planned starting in 2025. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Shawn Yancey as much as I did. If you liked this episode, please make sure to rate and review our podcast. I read every single review and they really do count. The more reviews we have, the more people learn about the Truman Charities podcast. And if you'd like to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook at Truman Charities, Instagram, Jamie_Truman Charities. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Jamie Truman, and make sure to go on trumancharities.com, sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss any of our upcoming events. We have 3 events per year: our Derby Party, Halloween, and our Family Fun event. And then also our Bethesda's Best Happy Hours. Those are not charitably inclined, but they're really fun networking events where you can meet local people in the area. So thank you again for tuning in to another episode. Until next time. All right, Shawn, thank you so much for coming on. You are, a local celebrity here in the DMV. And I love what you've been able to do with your organization, Girls Night Out. And I want to talk about that. But first, I want to learn a little bit about you. So tell me, what gave you the motivation to get into broadcasting? And then I want to know a little bit about what it was that made you decide to create this organization of yours.
So I knew that I wanted to be a broadcast journalist since I was in 3rd grade. My father is a physician, and in the city where I grew up, he would participate in an Ask the Doctor segment on the new news on the local news channel there. And the woman who was interviewing him was the first Black woman to be a news anchor in the state of Indiana where I grew up. So I wasn't really paying attention to what my dad was saying. I was looking at her and thinking, I want to be just like her when I grew up. So since the 3rd grade through high school, I began working with media groups in high school as a news anchor and a reporter. That's what I went to college to do. And it's been an incredible career since then. My first job out of college was at a country radio station where I sort of learned to hone my skills as a reporter and work on my voice. My first TV job was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was there for about 11 months. Then I got a call from Pittsburgh. We spent about 5.5 years there. And we've been in Washington, D.C. now for 23 years. I know I'm dating myself by sharing all those numbers, but it's just been an incredible career.
Wow, that's fantastic. I had no idea that you had all of this other experience outside of the DC market because you've been here for, as you said, 23 years. So I'm just so used, and all of us are so used to just seeing your face on TV. So you started in 2010, and on your website, you're talking a little bit that it just started like in your house. You had some girlfriends over, and then tell me what made you decide to start having people over and starting this organization. And then in 2019 is when you decided, you know what, I'm going to make this a 501c3. This is make it into a nonprofit.
Absolutely. So I grew up in a household where my parents were always giving back. That is what I saw. That's what I experienced. For me, that was always a part of life. And I had always given back in some way, whether it was working with other organizations throughout my career as a broadcast journalist, growing up through my sorority and giving back. And in 2010, we got together with a bunch of girlfriends in my house and we had a clothing swap. And I said, okay, when I say clothing swap, we were supposed to bring clothing that was designer that maybe we didn't fit anymore or we just didn't like. And I set up my dining room like a boutique and we swapped clothing. And what we didn't swap, I was on the board then of Dress for Success DC. So we swapped clothes, and then things that were left over, I donated to Dress for Success DC, the professional clothing. And then we sent some of the items to a village in Africa. And I thought, well, what if we do this on a larger scale? So within the next 3 years, this became a public event and we were still doing clothing swaps. I was working with local organizations in the DC region, Martha's Table, Dress for Success DC, A Wider Circle, and we began donating professional women's clothing. Got a little overwhelming after a while because to welcome 100 women and their clothing and to go through everything and make sure it was right, we decided, why don't we just have a huge party and have a lot of fun things that people can do? And we will donate the money from the party to different organizations that align with what we're doing. So our mindset or our mission has always been to help and empower women and children in our community who may not have as much as we do, or who just may need some guidance. And so that's what has always been our main focus. But in 2019, I had a lot of friends that would say, look, we want to donate to your organization and to your party, but we also want to get the tax write-off too. And I'm like, okay, why don't we just become a 501c3 and then develop our own programs? So in 2019, we became a 501c3. We started developing our own programs, which included what we would call our love sacks, where we would fill large zippered canvas totes full of the items that women and children living in shelters could use. We're talking about not just the basics like shampoo and conditioner and soap, but things that maybe they wanted, but it wasn't on the radar, like mascara or feminine products. Or for the kids, it was a teddy bear, it was gloves, it was fuzzy socks, or just other items like, that you and I would love to have. We started a backpack and school supplies giveaway. We started during the holiday season giving away hundreds of brand new toys, coats, and gloves to children in need all across the region. Then we hit the pandemic. So we started giving away food. We just thought wherever the need is what we will start doing and how we will navigate. Last year, we decided we also wanted to hone our focus a little bit more. So for me, when I was in college, we shifted a little bit. So while we had been known as Girls Night Out by Sean Yancey, we decided we were just going to call our events Girls Night Out by Sean Yancey. But when we became a 501c3, our name is the Giving Foundation for Women and Children. And when I was in college, I got pregnant and I had my son on Wednesday. I went back to class on Monday, but I had incredible parents who were able to help me get through. And we talked a lot about this, our board, and decided this is sort of the direction that we want to move in now as we go into the future. We want to work with women and children, but young moms who are in college, who are pursuing higher education degrees by providing them with scholarships, whether it's tuition, assistance with books, diapers, food, you name it, and then create a bond and partnership with them through this, where we would develop a mentorship program. So not only just giving them the scholarships as they're starting out, but developing a pipeline or a way to help them as they're navigating their career once they leave college. So we still do our books and backpacks. We still do our coats and our toys during the holiday season, but we're trying to sort of narrow our focus to really focus on young moms in college.
That's incredible, because a lot of people, as you just mentioned, aren't as fortunate as you that have parents that are really able to step in and help you so then you can finish out your degree.
Absolutely.
And I want to talk about, so this is going to air about a week before your coat and toy drive. So tell us a little bit about that and how people can get involved.
Absolutely. So right now we are collecting coats and toys. You can go to our website. You can go to our social media, and there will be, which is GNO by Sean Yancey. And you will be able to find a QR code or our Amazon link. We're asking people to donate. They can click the Amazon link and purchase toys. We have a wish list. You can purchase new toys, new coats. They will be sent directly to us. And then on the 14th, we will be at the Turkey Thicket Rec Center, which is in Northeast DC. And we're going to have a winter wonderland where we're inviting the community. We're inviting specific organizations that we've worked with before that help young moms or families in the community. And we will be providing everyone who walks in with new toys, new books, new coats, new hats. We're going to have Santa who will be there. The kids can take pictures with Santa. There will be food. There will be games. But we wanted this to be a winter wonderland, more of a party for the kids in the community as a way to give back. We know right now there are families in our community, parents who are struggling to decide whether they should buy food for their kids or a warm winter coat. And I don't think any parent, no family should have to to make that decision. We want to make it easy for them. You can walk in and we're going to make sure your kids have toys for the holidays. You have coats for the holidays. So you don't have to make that choice. And we're also hoping is if people want to donate financially, we're giving those families grocery gift cards. So in addition to getting coats and toys for their kids, they will also be able to get a holiday meal that they can purchase and prepare for their families.
So if somebody wanted to come join you in your Winter Wonderland event, do we have to register or how does that work? We just show up?
If you want to come because you're in need, you can come down to the Turkey Thicket Rec Center. We'll be there from 12 to 3 on December 14th. But if you want to volunteer and you want to help, I encourage you to go to our website, which is gnobyseanyancey.org, and there's a volunteer button. You click that volunteer button, it will send you to a link where you can fill out volunteer information, and our volunteer coordinator will reach out to you because we're always looking for volunteers. That's the one thing that's really unique about our organization. This was not my day job. I'm a journalist by day. I'm an artist. This is a passion project. This is love for me. So we are all volunteer. So everybody who works is a volunteer. I don't get paid. They don't get paid. In fact, most of them are a lot of them are my friends, and they will say they're actually voluntold. I told them, I need your help. I need you to show up. So that's the beauty of this organization. Many of those are people who were the day ones, who were there back in 2010 when we started this organization. They're still here and they are still working as volunteers to help us whenever we need it.
Wow. So what do you have planned for 2025?
So 2025, so this is our year where as we're launching our scholarship program full-time, we're working and we're looking to partner with local colleges and universities so that we can connect with those young moms who are in school who may need our help. We're going to be building our mentorship program. We will still continue our books and backpacks program. So we work with Title I elementary schools, providing them with books and backpacks. And we will, of course, continue our toys and coat giveaway. But in 2025, we're going to be doing a special, we launched what we call our Rose Rooftop Party, which was a fun thing to do. We're trying to connect with young people. And when I say that, I don't want to date myself again here, but we're trying to connect with people who are in their 20s and their 30s, who maybe are not in the space where they're used to giving back or volunteering. And we want to welcome them into the organization by doing things that interest them, but also giving them a way to give back. So at our Rose Rooftop Party, it's rosé, so you have a little fun. You get to try different rosés, and we brought in a local wine owners who live in our region who you got to sip their rosé. But we had things that were like bottle painting. We did. Oh my goodness, what did we do? We had temporary tattoos. We had a DJ. It was a party, so we wanted to also make it fun. Giving back can be fun. I mean, it's fun to me and it warms my heart, but sometimes people think it gets heavy and it gets sad. No, it's happy. It's about giving back to our community and finding different ways that we can connect with people of all ages, all backgrounds, because we know that we're stronger when we stand together.
And is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think someone should know?
I just think that there are so many families in need, and a lot of times people are afraid to ask. And I also think it's important for us to know that even if you can help just a little bit, it goes a long way. Like say, for example, we're a tiny nonprofit organization. We know there are organizations out there that get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're about to kick off our end of the year campaign, but we're just going to be asking people if you can give $30, $50 for us. That goes a long way. We don't have a lot of sponsors. We don't have a lot of huge donors, but a little bit goes a long way. You would be surprised that $50 can feed a family for a week. And you would be surprised that $50 can provide four coats for kids. We're looking, when we go out and buy coats in bulk, we're able to get them at a discounted price. So $50 covers four coats for kids. I think that's what's really important is that sometimes people say, well, I don't have the money to give. That's also fine too. Don't have the money to give, then volunteer. Give your time, give your heart. And if not to us, give to another organization. That's what I think is really, really important. Our community is stronger when we stand together. So maybe you have a cause that's important to you. Maybe it's breast cancer. Maybe it's kidney disease. find your space in your community and what works for you. Find an organization and find a way to get involved and get your kids involved. That's the other thing that I think is really super important. As parents, I think it's part of our responsibility to not only be examples to our kids, but to also not just tell them, but to show them by example, by getting them involved. My whole family is involved in our organization. My husband and I have 3 incredible sons and a daughter-in-law, and they have all been involved. When they're away at college, when they're home from college, they try to get involved in one way or another. So encourage your family, encourage your communities to get involved.
I completely agree. I have 3 boys too, and they all 3 have been involved. And also when we're talking about our organization and people getting involved, I hear the same thing too, that they get a little bit overwhelmed. And you're saying, you know what? No, you can give as much as you can. Every single dollar counts. Or if you can't, volunteer. Volunteer for your organization, volunteer for an organization that is meaningful to you. You are really making a difference in the community. And as all of our guests, as a thank you for what you do, we're donating $250 to your drive that you're having. Shawn, I know you're just so busy, and I love everything that you do. We're going to put a link to your Amazon wish list, which I went on there. The cutest gifts, every single kid. My 2 are still really little. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is stuff that they would love. And I have a link to your website, so how you can volunteer for your Winter Wonderland and how you can get involved in general. So I'll have a link to all of that stuff. But if people are listening, how do they connect with you?
So if you want to connect with us, I say our website is www.gno by Shawn Yancey, no E in Yancey, ShawnYancey.org. You can follow us on Instagram. It's at GNO by Shawn Yancey. And also, look, you can find me on Instagram. I'm at Yancey World, but everything that's going on through the nonprofit is also on my Instagram page. You can also find us on Facebook, the same name, GNO by Shawn Yancey. So we've been known as Girls Night Out by Shawn Yancey for so long. We're in the process right now, switching everything over to the Giving Foundation for Women and Children as we launch into 2025. But we'll still make sure, even if you click on it, you'll make it there. If you're waiting until 2025 to do it, we'll still be there. But I guess the main thing is just remember that a little bit goes a long way. However you want to help, just like you said, Jamie, if it's $5, if it's $10, if it's just volunteering some of your time, if it's simply volunteering to, maybe somebody's at home and they want to find ways to help, we have ways you can help. You can send out emails, you can do different things. So we have something for everyone to get involved. And I think that is just the main thing, is that we have been so blessed and so fortunate through our lives. And I think it's our responsibility to give back. And I'm just glad that even if we're helping this tiny corner of people and women and children that we're helping, that's what it's all about. That's what's.
And if everybody does just a little bit, then it really makes a huge impact. I want to thank you again, Shawn, for coming on. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Truman Charities podcast. If you liked this episode, please make sure to rate and review our podcast. I read every single review, and they really do count. The more reviews we have, the more people learn about the Truman Charities podcast. And if you'd like to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook at Truman Charities, Instagram, Jamie_Truman Charities. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Jamie Truman, and make sure to go on trumancharities.com, sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss any of our upcoming events. We have 3 events per year: our Derby Party, Halloween, and our Family Fun event. And then also our Bethesda's Best Happy Hours. Those are not charitably inclined, but they're really fun networking events where you can meet local people in the area. So thank you again for tuning in to another episode. Until next time. If you liked this episode, please make sure to rate and review our podcast. That is how more people learn about the Truman Charities podcast and our organization. And to make sure you don't miss any of our future episodes, subscribe. If you'd like to follow Truman Charities, you can follow us on Facebook at Truman Charities, Instagram at Jamie_Truman Charities, and check out our website, trumancharities.com.